Someone! What? Let's tighten the noose!
So I listened to this thing and it was 3 people reviewing it. Scottish drummer. I don't know who the woman was, but I think she was like the host, and Lloyd Cole. I was like, oh, they're talking about my book. I managed to listen to it. Just they were still talking about it. So here it is.
Then started doing stand up and.
Bremo, thank you very much. Beans believing. Bears repeating.
I didn't like him. I found him completely without charm. I kept waiting for something to come along to pull me in, and all there was this idea that maybe this honesty was going to impart some kind of authenticity onto the book. It needed something I think it needed something from me. I couldn't get myself to be part of the equation. And I think possibly it's because I didn't know Limmy before I read the book. And I found myself going back and forth thinking, well, should I go and look at a lot of YouTube now so that I know more about Limmy so I can read this book better? Or would that really be cheating? Because surely the book, if it's a book, should be able to stand on its own legs. I found myself going back and forth. I just didn't find the story interesting.
I must say, Francis, I half agree with Lloyd in the sense that I was torn emotionally reading this book. I was almost revolted by his monumental self-centeredness and also by the ferocious amount of violence that is in the book. I mean, violence within him, it should be said, quite often directed against himself, and violent scenes that he describes. But at the same time, I was awestruck by the amount of candour. I've never met, or I've never read, or met for that matter, but I've certainly never read a man before talking about his sexual exploits with such an admission of incompetence and failure, saying, this is me, I was useless sexually, and there's only one woman with whom I've ever had sex successfully, and this is my partner now, this very long-suffering woman called Lynn. It is devastatingly frank and open about, not just about sex, but about his joy in meeting celebrities. And he's not sophisticated in some ways, as though he's got a layer of skin that's less than most people have.
I think he talks about things that men
Not
need to talk
sophisticated.
about. And he doesn't necessarily do it in a I've got the answers, gather round. So he just tells you, this is what happened to me, this is what I did. And I learned a very useful piece of wisdom recently. There's so many times in the book where he's a lost soul, but in the end he forms it all into his comedy, which is successful, and he actually takes parts of who he was when he was younger. You know, Dee Dee is the stoner that makes kind of Dylan the Rabbit look like Magnus Pike or Russell Brand or something. And Lemmy spent a year in a flat with a flatmate he resented, stoned, doing nothing.
What's the
he
stone?
took it and he used it, because something I wish had been said to me, to go to jail and daft self-destructive things I did, and times I the better placed we are to try and address it.
I will buy into that a little bit. In terms of plot, yeah, absolutely. This is somebody. I mean, there's the lovely moment where he finally finds himself studying in college and he loves it, and you realise that he has a brightness, not necessarily, he has an intelligence of a certain kind. And he finds something that he's comfortable with, and he's happy for a while. But yes, of course, he's constantly fighting depression, and I found myself almost feeling awful. Just why am I not sympathising with this guy? Because I'm not.
Is it because he's not, in a way, he doesn't ask for sympathy? What was really sort of getting my goat is that there's a sense of him saying, I'm a useless person, I'm a useless father, I'm no help around the house, I can't ring up electricians, I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to do that. And when they have the kid, he says, trying to be an unselfish person was driving me insane. I felt like it was against my nature. And there's a kind of defiance there. He's saying, look, This is the sort of person I am. I'm